We're going to talk about the Georgia Senate election that will happen, of course, in November 2026 for the midterms, and also the turnout we already have in the primary and who's going to win the primary, both in the Democrat and also in the Republican side. Well, now we have here already 607,000 people already voted, 607,000 people, and as you can see here, that's 8.3% of the active voters. The highest turnout in terms of the county is, of course, this one here. It's a Republican county. Trump got more than 70% there, and the turnout is very high across suburban areas of Atlanta. You see Fayette County, for example, Rockdale, Newton. You have really high turnout here, Erie County as well. But the turnout is not very high in those Republican areas here, in the Georgia 14th, and also in here and the more black areas, black majority areas, especially down here. So actually, the Democrats are actually leading in terms of turnout. You can see here 330,000 for the Democrats and 268,000 for the Republicans. You might think, but that's early vote as expected. It is at some degree, but also in 2022, the Republicans got an advantage, and right now they're not an advantage. Even though this doesn't mean that the Democrats will win turnout-wise in next week, because they need to win this by more than 100,000 votes. They need to get a 100,000 votes margin in order to compete during election day, because they're gonna get not in a very great position when it comes to election day. They're probably gonna get defeated like 60-40, 65-35 in the election day voting. And as you can see here right now, the margin is not even close to 100,000. It's 60,000 right now. So that's why I'm just saying this is still not guaranteed that Democrats will win. I expect the Democrats to do very well today in terms of the voting, also tomorrow and on Friday, because they tend to, starting on Monday, it's the more Republican-friendly day, and then it goes all the way. And then when you are in Friday, or right on Friday, you have a much more democratic turnout. As you see here in terms of the early in-person voting, the Democrats are winning basically everything. Every day they're winning, but that one was close. That one was close yesterday, and right now you can see here today already they're leading 287-50, but it's just the first update of many until polls close there today. As you can see in terms of the mail-in votes, 23,000 already returned. We have 45,000 issued. The Democrats are leading overwhelmingly. This is the best area for a Democrat to run it up. Kamala got 65% of the mail-in votes, and the early in-person votes, this one here, it was Trump won just barely, and then the election vote, he blowed out everything. In terms of the polls, you can see here Republican primary, Collins expected to win. The margin is between 3 and 14 points according to the polls we have, and the aggregate says plus 12. You can see here Carter and also Dooley, and we have a very interesting primary. Even though this is gonna go to a runoff, I think we'll have a runoff because neither of the candidates will reach 50% plus one, as you can see here. So we'll have a runoff. I don't know when, but I think we will have one. And here you have Collins. I'm sorry, not this one. The Democratic primary is uncontested. That's why I'm just saying that. As you can see here, Jon Ossoff is a presumptive nominee in the Democratic side. He raised over $77 million, almost $78 million, whereas Collins raised 4.3, and that's, I mean, I know it's divided, but even if you sum up everything here, everyone, you only get like, I don't know, 14 million, and that's very below 77 million. Jon Ossoff is one of the best Democratic senators. He has one of the highest approval ratings, especially considering he's in a swing state that voted for Trump in 2024 by 2.2 points, and he is in a very great position to be reelected. That's just my opinion here, and he got, of course, the supporters of all the Democrats and all the Democrats, or the Democratic organizations, and the Brian Kemp, they didn't endorse anybody, and Buddy Carter was endorsed by Eric Johnson, and Mike Collins was the Lauren Boebert from Colorado 4th. And you have a lot of Republicans, MAGA Republicans, especially MAGA ones, supporting Mike Collins. He tried to win here in 2024, in 2020 in the special election. He tried to go to a runoff against Warnock, but Lawful was able to win that. But I'm sorry, Collins. But you can see here, Jon Ossoff won this by 1.2 points against David Perdue, an incumbent senator. They got a lot of support from President Trump in 2020, and that probably was affected because President Trump didn't say that he lost the 2020 election. People were mad at him for not saying that, and that's why the Democrats did very well in those special elections, winning both of them. That I never thought this would be possible, to be honest. When we were in 2020, you can see here Jon Ossoff did very well. I mean, any Democrat needs to do well across the Atlanta suburbs and also Atlanta itself, Fulton County. across here Columbus and also Savannah and Augusta, and he did very well the suburbs. I mean, Cobb County, Gwinnett, those were the Republican territory not a long time ago. I mean, 14 years ago, those two counties were Republican territory, and even in 2016, Trump was able to almost win Cobb County. I think he was in between 2 points or so, but now it's a very Democratic county. I mean, Trump did worse than David Perdue, even though he won the state like this. 57-42, this was 56-44, and when you go to Gwinnett, that was slightly better for Trump than it was for David Perdue, even though all the suburban areas here are trending to the left. If you go here to Fayette County, it's one of the most fascinating ones. I mean, I can tell you that then Jon Ossoff will win this for sure. I mean, Trump won by 3.2, and so you can see here Perdue won by almost 10, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening here across suburban areas of Atlanta, and it's very, very interesting what's happening as well. And probably now we're asking in terms of the polls for the general election. I mean, Collins Ossoff, which is the most likely scenario. Ossoff is leading by 2.8. I think it will be higher than that. I'm giving right now a 5 points advantage for Jon Ossoff. I think he's in a very great position, and he probably will win by a substantial margin, I would say. And when it comes to the general, I don't know, maybe we have here an aggregate of polls. As you can see here, okay, you can see. And in terms of predictions, toss-up in Democrat, I would say slightly Democratic at this point. And as you can see here, the polls we got right now, they're all saying Jon Ossoff will win this, and I think he will by a substantial margin, at least for a swing state. I'm probably winning by 5 in California or in Texas, not a great margin, but when it comes to Georgia, which is a state that Trump won in 2024, he only lost in 2020 by 11,779 votes. And in 2016, Trump was able to win by a substantial margin. I think it was 6 points or so. This is my map right now. By the way, I have another update. Alaska, it was red in my previous map. Right now, it's blue. That's important. I still don't think the independent will win in Nebraska. That's why I'm saying it's going to be red, even though this one is certainly competitive. I mean, most of the states here are competitive, like Texas, even Iowa at some degree. But as you can see here, Alaska, I just switched it from Republican to Democrat because former Congresswoman from Alaska is doing a fantastic job and probably can win the election there. And I'm just saying now that if Georgia goes Republican, the Republican will hold a majority because J.D. Vance is the vice president and the president of the Senate. But right now I'm thinking this will be the map. 51-49, that's a new update in my map. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. Leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Thank you.